Hello, everyone, and welcome to Monday. We were just talking, Tyler, Kaley, and I, about how quick the weekend went. So welcome back. We're glad to share our Monday with you. My name is Kaley Baltzell, and I'm the CEO and owner of Beyond Indigo. Today we have Tyler Murley and Kaley Wade to talk about remarketing. Probably more focused on the social media side than the SEO side, but remarketing can happen on both today. So welcome.
Hello.
Hi, guys.
Hi. You guys are in different parts of the country.
Yeah.
So, right? So we're coming almost from coast to coast. So that's kind of fun too, with me smack dab in the middle. So which one of you wants to tell us what is remarketing? Because I think we take that for granted, but it's like a lot of people don't know that's an option. So like, what is it and how does it work?
Sure. I'll talk a little bit about that. So remarketing is targeting somebody who has already interacted with your brand in some way. So whether it's they've signed up for an email subscription or they visited your website in some way. Remarketing is finding those touch points, giving those customers, potential clients, an extra touch point and trying to reach them since they've already interacted with your brand.
Okay, and so you have this pool of data and you actually have their names. So let's say remarketing, we'll use a more clean generic version, is if I was looking at a new dog leash for my dog, all of a sudden you go to an article about gardening and you see the dog leash, right? Like that's a form of remarketing where you've got this little kind of trailer following you across the internet. It's not because the dog leash company had millions of dollars to spend on ads. They're just saying, hey, Kaley, and Amazon's guilty of this. They'll sell your data all day long because then you'll see the dog leash from Amazon, trailing with you, right? Now, is that a good example of remarketing?
Yeah, it's a great example. A lot of times, you're on a website, you're on Amazon, you see a pair of shoes, you add it to your cart, and then you say, you know what, maybe I don't really want that right now, or you get distracted and you think about something else. And right now in the pandemic, there's data showing that 78% of carts are abandoned right now. People aren't shopping like they were before. So, maybe somebody saw a pair of shoes at the beginning of the year, forgot about it because of the craziness, or got a little concerned about money. You can actually retarget those people through Facebook Pixel to try and to reach them again, to remind them, hey, this is something that you wanted. Is this something that you still want? And they'll see that actually that, shoe or other product, leash, show up in their news feed.
So Kaley, what's a Facebook Pixel for people who don't know?
That's a great question, Kelly. So a Facebook Pixel can not only be used to retarget customers that have been to your site, but it also tracks their information. So essentially a Facebook Pixel is like a small snippet of a code that you can, attach to your website. Usually an engineer does that for you for Facebook marketing and stuff like that. So it's just a string of code that goes onto your website and it tracks the people and the types of actions they make when they engage with your brand. So like ads or stuff that they saw on your website or the pages that are on there too as well. And specifically like things like items that are going into the cart. So yeah, it basically just tracks everybody's information on the site and where they go.
So to kind of do a remarketing campaign, it's probably important to have that Facebook Pixel, that little snippet of code. I mean, all of us geeky type of people like big names to things, but really it's just a little tiny bit of code onto the business website, right? And then just put the fancy name of Pixel because that's cute and you can market all that itself, right? But without that, there's really, that Pixel's the bridge. It's the bridge between Facebook and a website. Yes. Or some other app even, because you can put it in there too, to gather all that data, including, age, geographical information, financial information, like how much Facebook really sucks in about your life is kind of scary if you're looking at it personally. But from a business point of view, it's like, wow, we got all this data, we can do some great things for very little money. Because, the more the targeted, only people who you define see that ad. So that's the power behind it, if you kind of like look aside to the scary part about it. But there also, some people may say, I really want to buy parrot food today, and they're talking to friends, or not even near a computer, but their phone's near. They also collect data that way, and so all of a sudden you might see retargeting for parrot food, and you may not even know the parrot. So watch, I'm going to start getting parrot food ads.
Yeah.
We just decided here today. So you make this retargeting, and you can do it through ads, and you can do it through newsletters and things like that. Do you guys have an example to show of one?
Yeah, I actually recently ran a remarketing campaign for one of my clients. And yep, there it is. So essentially my client wanted to do sort of like a referral program. And they were like, look, if you refer a friend, you can get $10 off on your next visit. So it was very simple. I just got a cute graphic of the doggy right there. And then just something simple. It says $10 off. And then when somebody clicks on that ad, it goes to the website. So actually we were really, we did a really great job. This was the first time we ran this campaign in June, and we're actually running it again in July. But what we did there for the audience to target people, it was an email list from my clients from the veterinary center. So it was basically like everybody's email address. And then it was also whoever's visited the website in the past 90 days, we included that as well. So that's where both of those things come in with remarketing. So an email list, and then people that have already visited the site. And then we usually like to do 90 days because it's not like that wide of a span of time, but it's also not that small. So we stick with 90 days. And then the location, and then interest, dog lovers, cats, cat lovers, or dogs. And this campaign drove almost 4,600 people to the site. So that's great. And then it got about almost 11,500 impressions. So just how many times people saw the ad. But we were really happy with it. And we're definitely going to be running it again. But if you see that right there, click learn more, and it takes you right to the site. So yeah, it was great.
That's fantastic, actually.
Thank you.
And the practice information system, the PIMS, every hospital has one, just gave you a printout on an Excel spreadsheet. Basically, they can give it to you that way or other ways, and you guys can copy and load it in and make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Another really interesting way, too, is Facebook now integrates MailChimp right into the system itself. So once you link your MailChimp information, they're able to pull that information for you. You don't have to have a huge email list. If you have a MailChimp account, you can just do that right away.
And so it's one click, and they make a little bridge. Facebook goes and sucks the information out of MailChimp, right?
Yep.
And then you guys create and craft the ad, talk about how long it runs and all of that. And are you guys just seeing on the side note that Facebook ads are still a really good buy? Or are they starting to creep up to before COVID kind of auction prices?
I would say that right now, because a lot of people have pulled back, you've got the boycotts happening right now. You've got businesses not wanting to spend as much on social media. Now's the perfect time to spend money on social media, especially because with that, you have much lower cost. You have much lower competition than you did before, which means that the cost of your conversions are going to be far, far less, which is very beneficial to businesses right now.
Right. I mean, every penny helps, every dollar helps, but also then not only less cost because there's less people advertising in there, that means you might get more visibility too, because there's just, instead of 10 veterinary hospitals in your area showing ads, there might be 6. So,
right.
There's just less competing visually for space and information. And I think, Kaley, you're seeing that with your remarketing ads and other things is, the numbers are good. like the results are good by running it this way, right?
Mm-hmm.
And generally in the past, remarketing ads tend to have a little bit higher volume in measurements, be it click-through or impressions or things like that, because these are people that have already shown interest in the brand. Would you guys typically say you're still seeing that?
Yes. That's what I was actually just about to touch on. The reason why remarketing, I guess, works so well is because you're not targeting people that have little interest, or you're not sure if they have interest, but they actually have a direct interest in what you're trying to, market towards them. Like you were saying in the beginning, if you're looking for a dog leash, you know that they're interested in a dog leash because they're searching for it. So it's easier to target them anyway. So that's why they're so effective.
Right, because they're already a warm lead. They're not a cold lead, so to speak,
Exactly.
in sales lingo and environment, right? So anything else that you guys want to mention today about remarketing?
I just want to throw it out that if people are nervous about getting started with remarketing campaigns, it's a lot more simpler than it was before. I know we talked a little bit about pixels before and how scary it might be to like get an engineer involved and like put this. It's really just a snippet of code, and Facebook has now integrated as well just the ability to do it themselves. Whether you have a Shopify account or whatever else you're using, you can link that right up and they'll put in the information for you. So it's a lot more intuitive than it was before, and it gives a lot of small businesses easier access. And it puts your money to better use. You have if you're hiring a small marketing company or whatever you're hiring to do some of your marketing, it's going to be a lot easier to make to get some conversions, because you're spending a lot less time on integrating the code and entering the information, hunting down the email addresses. So it's just a lot easier than it was before.
It's good to know. I mean, everything keeps advancing and going forward, but it's easier, it's less expensive. Right now, veterinary hospitals have no time, a lot of them. So that's where we step in. We're the partner that they lean on. Like, I really just need to get this ad out. Kaley, can you do it? And you go, yeah, sure, I can do that, right? Like, just tell us what you want, and you guys put your heads together and you make it happen, and you get tails through the door, and then you get really good results. But it's good to know that the process is getting simpler.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep, especially a lot of clients have hourly, they pay for hours. And so with the integration, with it being much faster, marketing companies are going to be able to utilize their time for their clients much, much easier.
Which is the intellectual capital part. Mm-hmm. Our brains, we come up with the ideas and the cute things that work, and we put it all together and it works.
Yeah.
Well, thank you two. It was great to have you here today. And remarketing, it's powerful. Do it. Get on the bandwagon, right? Mm-hmm. It's a great tool in the marketing box arsenal. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Kelly.
Start of the week. See you later.
See ya.